Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mr. DigiFox. Today we're going to be talking about all the news articles coming out on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, first off and foremost, none of this is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Everything said here is 100% our opinion. So, let's get right into it. We see here just a simple Google search with the word Bitcoin we see. It brings up all these articles of crypto stocks soar up. Bitcoin tops 20,000, Ether surges to its highest point since the merge. Bitcoin tops 20,000 yet again. And we just go further in, and we see here everything is bullish. Even coming out with ARK's Cathie Wood just bought $100,000 worth of Bitcoin years ago at $250 and has never sold it, perpetuating the whole thing of it could be the time to buy Bitcoin. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this and see if that's even true. And again, none of this financial advice. So let's get right into TradingView. And here we are on TradingView. We see here the XBT chart. We are on the daily chart, and we see that we do have a miniature pump, right? I believe it's about 5% or so. So for those of you that took a trade in Bitcoin recently within the past 24 hours to 48 hours, congratulations on your gains. You roughly made about 8% on your profit. We highly recommend you take it. So where can we see Bitcoin going? Why is everyone saying time is now to get in Bitcoin? Well, we may have to slow you down there a bit, because if we just look at this, there is no golden cross available. Now, it is coming to fruition a little bit, but we still are roughly around, what, a couple of months off? And what needs to be said here is that if you look at the grand scheme of things, right, we go ahead and go to the top, right? We go all the way to the bottom, right? Let's just go ahead and go there. And then we draw another line right here, and we're going to make what's called a falling wedge. And unfortunately, I need to zoom out a little bit. And we'll just bring this down a little bit further. But you can see how we still have some downside to go, and we didn't even really break this falling wedge yet. Now, it is possible we could come out of this wedge and bang our head on the 200 moving day average, which is this red line right here, right in that area. We could go up, hit our head off of it, and come back down in this descending wedge. And we're looking at roughly around, if we just bounce around within this triangle, we could see roughly a fall all the way down to $12,000 per Bitcoin. We have little resistance coming up. We have little support coming up, and that is proven right here, going all the way back to December 2020, and we are drawing a line here, and that's all we have. These are the buy orders right here, and that is not a lot. We have one right there, and we have all this right here. So once this breaks and we have something come back from some government agency indicating that things are financially not acceptable, we could fall all the way down, reaching roughly to the $10,000 region, maybe even below that. If it does go around there, expect a big wick going all the way down, and that would be a place where you would want to put buy orders. You have nothing to lose, because guess what? If you put a buy order in and it does not fulfill, you don't lose anything, right? So we see here that there is more downside to go in Bitcoin. Now, how further down? We don't know. Time will tell. But is this the time to buy? That is what we're wondering. So we indicate that no, it is not. This is our opinion. We see here that it is currently overbought, and it will soon be highly overbought here in the coming probably day or weeks, and maybe even less than weeks, to be honest with you. But we are still within the range. Now, if you want to go ahead and spend roughly about, let's say you have $1,000 to work with, and you want to buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, by all means, go ahead and do that. And maybe next week buy another 50, and you just every week buy $50. That's okay, because at the end of the day, you're going to have an average that is lower than the current price right now. And so when you look at all the articles, it kind of is misleading. Now, let's go back to Ethereum, which is another mover, because here we have an 11% gain at time of recording. Now, we see here that it is not in an ascending wedge per se, or maybe it could be if you want to move this down prior to this little pump action that we had. It is a elongated falling wedge, but now we had a little breakout. Let's go ahead and move it, and it is forming a temporary channel. We see here that it is forming a golden cross on the 4-hour chart. And where can we see this going? Well, maybe even back down again, because it needs to retest where it just went, right? So let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit, right? And the reason we're going to zoom in is because we did a little bit of an ascending triangle, and we see here that this wick completely shattered out of it, but now we're back in it. We are back in it, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently trading at $1,500, which is roughly around this region, right? And it has not closed yet. Now, in the next 4 hours, actually next 2 hours, it will have another candle, which will verify these things. Now, what does this mean? Well, there are a couple of things, right? We see here that we have formed what is considered a rounded bottom, right? That is one theory. Another theory is this right here, which we went ahead and already drew, which is an ascending triangle, which could very well break to the downside once we get high enough. We may bounce around in this. And we also have this channel that we are currently in on the grand scheme of things, which is a falling channel, right? It's a channel that's going down and it's very, very bearish. Now, where can this go if it does not proceed to be a bullish Ethereum market? Well, we could see it bounce around within this region right here, banging around its head all over this. So that could be roughly around 1,300 all the way up to roughly around 1,500, which we're currently at right now. And once it does break down with whatever news may come, or actually even before that, we could end up being all the way roughly back in the 1,300 region at first, which is going to be your support right here, going for what, since September? That's a lot of support considering in the short term, that is. But once that breaks, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be catastrophic, because the next point of support is going to be going all the way back here when everyone was shatting themselves, which is roughly around the 1100 area. And that is going to bring us right in this region, right here in this region, once we actually break to the downside. So if you want to buy Ethereum, go ahead and do so at your own risk. Us right here on this channel, we will not be doing anything such as that nature. We will not be accumulating at these prices. We will actually wait for it to come back to roughly around 1100 to start nibble-nabbling on it. So that concludes it for today. Happy days, happy trading, and good luck to every single one of you.